What up, BlissfulBash MTG? This is the Atraxa Commander deck. This one is called Toxic Relationships. I created that name off the tippity top of my hat. We're just going to kind of roll through. Let me try to get a better angle here. Let me see how that is. Let's maybe not do so much. Okay. So obviously we have Atraxa's Praetor's Voice. We got some goodies from, the new set, All Is One. This is probably one that doesn't need to be there, but I just had it in there. Skrelv Defector Might, gorgeous, amazing card. It's still holding great value, and it's very playable. Containment Grafter, kind of more on the upper on mana cost, but it's a 5/5 trample toxic 1, and whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to one or more players, proliferate. So you also get the proliferate aspect of it. And then at the beginning of your end step, if an opponent has 3 or more poison counters, draw a card. And then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. So there's a lot going on for this card. For 5 mana, I think it's worth it. I do. Blight Belly Rat is just one of those cheap toxic 1/2/2s. When it dies, proliferate. It's no value, but it is valuable to this deck. I like it, and it's cheap. Thrumming Bird, flying. Whenever Thrumming Bird deals combat damage to a player, proliferate. Wow, it is 2 for a 1/1 flying. But, again, proliferate in this deck is insane. Azuri Stalker Spheres. When Azuri Stalker Spheres enters the battlefield, you may pay 3. If you do, proliferate twice. Whenever you proliferate, draw a card. So this is more expensive. It's kind of something that I've been leaning maybe towards replacing out of the deck. I'm not sure. It's a 7-drop to be able to proliferate twice and draw 2 cards and get a 3/3 out there, right? It's not the greatest. Foreign Klex, Monstrous Raider. This card we've seen a crazy spike in recently. Elish Mami of Mashana. You already know what it is. It's definitely a fantastic card. Very playable. Seeing a lot of play in a lot of decks. Birds of Paradise. Just one of those cards that I just wanted to add a little flavor to the deck. Make it look a little pop, a little more. It's a, 0/1. Add 1 mana of any color flying. It's a great card. Love it. Mondrak, Glory Dominus. Of course, I had to throw this in there because you're going to see here all the doubling and trick counters, all that stuff, tokens. It's just an insane deck, guys. So just enjoy. Bloated Contaminator, trample, toxic 1. Whenever Bloated Contaminator deals damage to a player, proliferate. It's a 3 for 4/4, trample, toxic 1. And that card effect, I mean, it doesn't get better than that. This is one of those power creep cards that's like, holy crap, are you serious right now? Like, this, for sure, to me, should have been a mythic. Venerated Rot Priest. You just have to play it, dude. I'm just saying. It is one of those toxic relationship kind of cards, okay? Venser Corpse Puppet. One of the cards that you don't really need. Lifelink Toxic 1. Whenever you proliferate, choose 1. If you don't control a creature named the Hollow Sentinel, create a 3/3. Golem Artifact Creature Token. Target artifact creature you control gains flying and lifelink until end of turn. It's a 1/3 lifelink Toxic 1 for 2. Island in a swamp, so I didn't see it as not too terrible. And it's got its little other effects. Vigilance Reach, Trample, Elder Gargaroth, Borderless Foil, 5-drop 6/6, create a 3/3 green beast creature token to gain 3 life or draw a card. Probably going to be drawing cards, but it's not a terrible card. Maybe we'll be doing 3/3s if I got all my doubling effects out there. Esper Sentinel, Commander staple nowadays. Atraxa Grand Unifier, Step and Complete. It's just a fantastic card. I know people are actually building commander decks based around her. I threw it in here for a little fun. Tekuthel and Query Dominus, flying. If you would proliferate twice. It's a 4-drop or a 3/5 flying with that ability. And 1, either pay 4 life or in the mana. Remove all 3 counters from among other artifacts. Remove 3 counters from among other artifacts, creatures, and or planeswalkers you control, and it gets indestructible. Tyrannix Rex, not the greatest. It's still not bad, though. It's a 7-drop for 8/8. This spell can't be countered. Trample, Toxic 4, Ward 4, and Haste. Step and Complete, not bad. Now we're getting into the relationship side of things, okay? We got our toxic friends over here, and we got the girlfriends and boyfriends that just don't want to just let go. And now we got a toxic environment, okay? We got a Genre Sleeper Agent, Nissa, Step and Complete, Ascendant Animist. Very nice, beautiful for this deck. Kaito, Dancing Shadow. Just threw it in there for the flavor. Johnny, Mentor of Heroes. I mean, dude, these planeswalkers in this deck are going to be a lot of fun. This one is just from Ravnica Allegiance Mythic Edition. Whoop, and there it goes. And yeah, it's just, it's a fun card. -8, get 100 life. I mean, it's not that crazy, but it's fun, dude. I mean, with the stuff that you'll see later on, it's just going to be so easy to pop off all these planeswalkers. Johnny Strength of the Pride. Liliana, Waker of the Dead. Very nice. Teferi, Master of Time. I love this card. You may activate loyalty abilities of Teferi, Master of Time on any player's turn. Anytime you cast, it could cast an instant. Dude, you know how crazy that this can pop off when you have Doubling Season out there and all the other stuff out there. It's just going to go nuts. Teferi, who slows the sunset. The Wanderer, love it. Prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt to you and other permanents you control. Narset, Parter of Veils. Liliana of the Veil. Ajani, the Great-Hearted. Liliana of the Dark Realms. Love this card. Fantastic. Jace, the Mind Sculptor, arguably one of the best planeswalkers ever created. Not the best. There's better ones for sure, and especially with the power creep we've seen in recent sets. They're getting pretty crazy. Tavar, Jubilant Brawler, very nice. Gideon Blackblade, love this card. The Eternal Wanderer, Vraska's Betrayal, Sting, freaking stay. It's not Stepping Complete, but it's gorgeous. Borderless Foil, Jace the Perfected Mind, Stepping Complete. Fantastic. So those are the creatures and planeswalkers that you're going to see in this deck. It's a lot of fun, and it is. There's a couple of cards that could probably be replaced, but you'll see recently I've just spent way too much money. Now we're going to get into the sorceries, instants, enchantments, and artifacts. Fantastic stuff here. Smothering Tithe, gotta have it. Judge promo, Parallel Lives, fantastic card. If an effect would create one or more tokens under your control, it creates twice, okay? Smothering Tide, we all know that. Rhystic Study, we all know that. Whenever opponent plays a spell, draw one. Unless they pay one, do you want to pay the one? Phyrexian Arena, fantastic for your swamp players out there for drawing. It's one of the things that are slowly helping out with draw for swamps. For the black players out there, at the beginning of your upkeep, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. All day of the week, baby. Not a problem. Norn's Decree, whenever one or more creatures an opponent controls deals combat damage to you, that opponent gets a poison counter whenever a player attacks. If one or more players being attacked are poisoned, the attacking player draws a card. If one or more players being attacked are poisoned. So basically it's saying, I'm drawing cards, and then also whenever you deal damage to me, you're getting a poison counter. And then we're going to proliferate and call it a day. All right, Doubling Season, gotta have it. This card has constantly been going up in price. It's amazing. Anointed Procession from a Monkette. If an effect would create one or more tokens under your control, it creates twice that many tokens. And then obviously this is tokens and counters and permanents and whatever, you know. If an effect would create one or more tokens under your control, it creates twice. If an effect would put one or more counters on a permanent, you would put twice that many counters on that permanent instead. Now we got Mana Vault. Just something, it's just one of those commander cards. I don't think every deck needs a Mana Vault, but it's definitely fun to have. Lithoform Engine, pay 2, copy target, activated or triggered ability you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. Pay 3, tap, copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. Pay 4, tap, copy target permanent spell you control. The copy becomes a token. It is a 4-drop Lithoform. This card used to be a lot more expensive than what it is now, but it's like $5-6 now. I think it's fun. I think it's fun in this deck, and I think it can pop off in a lot of decks, actually. Chromatic Orrery. This card's like $56 right now. You spend mana as though it were mana of any color. It's a 7-drop. Tap it, add 5 colorless, pay 5, draw a card for each color among permanents you control. I've seen people try to break this card, and it gets nasty. It's not going to be broken in this deck, but I figured it fit the part, and it made a spot in the 99. Mana Crypt, borderless. I'm sorry, not borderless. Mana Crypt Foil from Double Masters. Gotta have it. Mox Amber Schematic. Gotta have it. Especially since it's a Planeswalker deck. Why wouldn't you? Soul Ring. Ichor Moon Gauntlet. Because, I mean, come on now. This thing is going to be fun. I love it. White Sun's Twilight. Arguably a pretty decent card. When you gain X life, create X colorless Phyrexian Might artifact creature tokens with Toxic 1, and this creature can't block. If X is 5 or more, destroy all other creatures. Not terrible. There's better out there, but it's fun, especially when you're trying to get them tokens out. And you got Toxic. Oh, yeah. Wrath of God, you know what you did. Phyrexi's Outbreak. Each opponent gets a poison counter. Then each creature your opponents control get -1/-1 until end of turn for each poison counter its controller has. You're going to want this card. Come on. That's just ridiculous. Tezzeret's Gambit. Pay 3, maybe 2 life as well, or a water. Draw 2 cards, then proliferate. Why wouldn't you want that? Fun card. Toxic Deluge, absolutely playable. Shield Dredge Edict. I did like this card. It was an uncommon in the new set. Choose one. Pay 2, it's an instant. Pay 1, colorless, 1 swamp. Each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature. Each opponent sacrifices a creature token. Each opponent sacrifices a planeswalker. I love it because it's sacrifice. Gets around indestructible and gets around a bunch of stuff. So, fantastic card. Vampiric Toot Toot, you already know what it is. Force of Will retro style, baby. Yes, sir. Got to have a couple of counters in there. Beautiful. Force of Negation. This is a Teferi's Protection, Japanese, all Strixhaven alternate art. Fantastic card. Enlightened Tutor, trying to get some of those artifacts out there. Enchantment cards in here that we have a lot of. Worldly Tutor, look for a creature card. There's going to be specific creature cards I might want at specific points. And then we got some Shakos, Hallowed Fountain. We got Gemstone Mire, Borderless Foil. Sea Chrome Coast, Borderless Foil. Dark Slick Shores, Borderless. Black Cleave Cliffs, Borderless. Razor Verge Thicket, Borderless. Mycosynth Garden, Borderless. Breeding Pool, Godless Shrine, Temple Garden promo pack. Watery Grave. And we're getting down to the meat and potatoes here. Spar's Headquarters, Zaggoth Triumph, Endatha Triumph, Gaia's Cradle. Cavern of Souls, because Phyrexian's my guy. Tropical Island. Gotta love them duels. Scrubland. Bayou. Savannah. Underground Sea. Tundra. And then you got your basic lands. So yes, again, guys, this is my Atraxa deck. The next deck I will be showcasing will be my Heads I Win, Tails You Lose commander deck. And that deck is absolutely insane as well. And it is one of the funnest decks I've ever played in my career. So yeah, you're going to want to check that one out when I post that. But for now, this is your toxic relationship advice for Atraxa. I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, let me know what you think. Obviously, the lands that you saw in the back do not need to be in there. That makes it super expensive. But as far as the other cards, there's a lot of expensive cards. But when it comes to the creatures and planeswalkers, I mean, it's somewhat doable. You know what I mean? If you don't have a lot of money, you can make some of that stuff work in different alternate arts that can be way cheaper. So just a fun little deck here. You can get different alternate arts and stuff for everything else. Basically, you don't need your mana vaults or mana crypts and stuff. Force of Will is unnecessary. Force of Negation. You can have a ton of fun with all that stuff. But here is my toxic relationship advice for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned. Peace out.